Right, welcome to this week's Sim Racing News Roundup. And we've got quite a bit to cover today, and it's a variety of different things as well. So we'll kick off first of all with Automobilista 2, and we've had quite a bit from the guys over at Razer on this. So to kick things off, we've had update v1.1.1 released, which added the Ginetta G40 to both the GT5 class and its own G40 Cup. Fair amount of physics, AI updates and general fixes and correction, plus some updates to the live track functionality. That was swiftly followed by a hotfix for that as well, which basically just tweaked a few little bits and pieces there, and I've put a video together on that one, which I'll link to down below if you want to go into more detail around that. And just a few short days after that, what they then also did was put in place their January 2021 development update, which talked a bit about the roadmap for 2022. Highlights around that are some hints on what's coming in February and March. So some new cars coming, Group C stuff, Lotus Amiga for the Brazilian stock car side of things, as well as in March it looks like we're going to be getting the Custom Championship tool in March as well, and the news that some of the content they'd hoped to put out in 2021 will slip to 2022, but they're going to keep the season pass valid for all of that content, which is really good news. So a fairly hefty amount on the Automobilista 2 side of things. Moving on from that, one which cropped up on, I think it was Eurogamer, is some news that basically EA, after they finished their expected acquisition of Codemasters, are planning a new racing game every year. Now, I assume that's a new IP every year, seeing as Codemasters currently have quite a bit in their catalogue with F1, Dirt, Grid and Project Cars now, and of course the upcoming WRC license that they're going to have, whereas EA basically has Need for Speed, Burnout, and on mobile the Real Racing series. So does this mean we're going to see new IPs coming from EA stroke Codemasters in the future? Certainly seems to be indicating that, and the more concerning question, what will the quality be like? Will they be microtransaction riddled messes, which unfortunately is a concern and a risk with EA involved, but we'll see what happens on that one. We then have a couple of very different pieces of news with regard to Assetto Corsa Competizione. The first one is a community update from ACC and 505 Games with regard to the PS4 and Xbox One versions of Assetto Corsa Competizione, which is basically an apology to the community, putting their hands up for all of the issues that have existed around the title on console, and basically setting a commitment that they're going to resolve all of these and work on them, and that they are aware of them, and they wanted to give us some insight into what's going on behind the scenes and their plans for it going forward. And I'll pop a link, as always, to that down below if you want to go and read the full thing on that. In further ACC news, we've got the announcement that the British GT Pack DLC is coming to PC next week on February the 10th, with some shots of Alton Park as a teaser for it. So the DLC pack will include 3 circuits, so that's Alton Park, Snetterton and Donington. So from my point of view, that's 3 great additions to the ACC calendar, particularly Alton Park, which is one of my favourite tracks of all time. I absolutely adore Alton Park, so I'll be looking forward to that. They're also adding in the new liveries, under 70 drivers, and there'll be a dedicated championship season on there. And the keener-eyed amongst you may also notice that there's a GT3 car hidden amongst those GT4s there as well. So it looks like we could have mixed class racing coming to ACC. Whether this will be limited to the British GT Championship or will then be expanded to the other championships in the title isn't unknown at this present moment. By the way, the February 10th date for that, as I mentioned, is for PC only, and it should be coming to consoles in what they describe as late spring, which by their kind of timescales will probably mean late May, but we'll need to wait and see in that regard. We then also had some news from Dirt 5, which released last year to fairly lackluster reviews from those on the more sim-orientated side of the fence, although it did get good general reviews around it. It looks pretty, certainly, but there's a lot wrong with it in my personal opinion, to the point that I put a preview up for it, but I haven't still bothered getting around to doing a full review for it. There did a while ago release their festive themed Snow Limits DLC pack, but they've wanted to talk about some of the DLC that will start to land across the course of 2021. And if you've basically picked up the Amplified pack for that, some of this will be free for you. If not, some of it will be chargeable DLC, but what they've said is coming: new cars, hundreds of new playground objects, new playgrounds themselves, new career events, new tracks. No word as if to whether that is a new location or just new tracks on the existing locations. 40 new liveries, more custom livery options, profile customization, and a load of other unannounced stuff. Now, I'm hoping one of the things it will bring, because it galled me when I did my preview video around this, is they put a pretty good solid photo mode into Dirt 5, but forgot to give you the ability to actually watch replays, which renders the photo mode pretty much useless. So we'll see what comes off the back of that. And then in the final piece of news for this week, Jimmy Broadbent has announced via his YouTube channel that he will be taking part as a guest driver in the Britcar series for 2021, and this is being done as part of a guest driver program for the Praga R1 car that races in the Britcar series. This is, in my view, great news, and congratulations to Jimmy for achieving this, because I think it's a wonderful thing to actually see. Well deserved in my personal opinion, and I'll post a link down in the comment section to both Jimmy's announcement video on this and also a trailer for the 2021 Britcar series, which you can watch on YouTube. So it's a good one to be able to catch up on, and I caught a few of last year's races and there was some good stuff going on there, so well worth looking out for in that regard. Now, in terms of what you've been watching while I've been talking away here, this is two mods from Assetto Corsa, and it's following the AMS South American theme here, and I mainly wanted to show off the track here, the Autodromo de Buenos Aires, because it's a great little track that you can pick up on Race Room, and as always, Race Department. As always, the links are down below. The car is the Formula Argentina 2.0, which is technically a Formula Renault. It's the name the Formula Renault's racing under Argentina, and I will leave a link to that down below. I mainly wanted to pick this just to keep the theme of South American stuff with the track. The track's great, strongly recommend downloading that. The car, on the other hand, I've got some serious issues with the force feedback on this, because whilst the track detail comes through the force feedback really well, the steering doesn't load up correctly as it should do, and as a result you get very little confidence turning into the corners with it, so that still needs some tweaking and work doing on it. It doesn't behave as it should do in reality, and I've actually driven in real life a previous generation Formula Renault, and no, this one's not quite right, but download it if you want the complete experience in terms of looks, but not necessarily in terms of physics. So that's everything I've got for you this week. Thanks very much for watching, and if you found this video interesting, please do like and subscribe to the channel and hit the bell icon if you want to be notified when future content gets uploaded. Thanks very much. Take care.